Hey everybody, I'm Kurt Whitesell, and welcome to my podcast. Today's guest is exciting because she has a new role and a new exciting part of the world to be working on. It is Tonya Hyatt, who is the new Executive Director of the Northern Hamilton County Chamber of Commerce, which is an offset of Onezone, which, as we all know, is the largest chamber in the state. So Tonya's coming on to tell us about her new role, things she's excited about, and ways we can get involved and participate. So enjoy. Thank you. Okay. Hello, Tonya. Thank you for being on my podcast today. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Hey, so you just gave me a tour. Why don't you show us where you are right now?
Yes. So today I'm at the Cicero office. Behind me is the Nolan James building. And if you can see that little blue spot there, that is the new Cicero mural that they are currently painting. Mm-hmm. And it has been quite a scene to watch this lady come every day and just little by little painting every day. It's been amazing.
So who is the little lady with? Why does she get to paint that wall?
You know, I'm not sure, but she's a very, very well-known painter. Uh-huh. And they hired her, I believe it's through the Main Street organization here in Cicero. I believe they're the ones that have been working on that process.
Okay. Cool. All right. So you're in an office. Hold on just a second here. We got to pause. I didn't think I had any deliveries coming. Can you hear my dogs? I'll cut off.
No.
Oh, you can't?
Can you hear?
Okay.
Can you hear the train? Like the train, I guess is okay. It's distracting me a little bit.
In general. Okay, so if you can't hear the dogs, then we're not going to worry about it.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you for coming on here. You have started a new position as the Executive Director of the Northern Hamilton County Chamber of Commerce. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yep.
Okay.
I've been in the role for a total of 2 months now.
So tell us what that role is.
So my role is to connect all of the businesses with other businesses along with the the organizations within the town. So you've got your town councils, you've got your main streets, you have all these groups. And my main focus is to connect everybody so that we can all work together, because we have one main goal, and that is to have thriving communities and thriving businesses.
So what communities are you in?
I am currently over Cicero, Sheridan, Atlanta, and Arcadia. And I would say Cicero is kind of like your lake town. Sheridan is but up next to Westfield. So they get a lot of Grand Park business there. And then also the Monon goes through there. And they're actually going to extend the Monon. So that would give them a lot more exposure from folks riding the Monon from, say, Broad Ripple all the way up to Sheridan, because you have those people that do ride their bikes that long, like 100 miles a day, if you believe it or not. And then you have Atlanta, which is a small town. That's where the Nickel Express stops. Okay. That's your last stop. And then Arcadia, they're like, they were a music town at one point, if I'm correct on that. And they have this amazing coffee shop and this brand new brewery that just opened 2 weekends ago. There's a lot of things happening here in Northern Hamilton County.
Mm-hmm. How far north of, let's say, Carmel is Atlanta? Like a drive. How long of a drive is that?
I'd say it's about a 25-minute drive. It's pretty easy.
Mm-hmm. So you feel like those four communities kind of all work together or play together nicely? People go to their restaurants in those different communities and do business in those four communities. Is that what the deal is, do you think?
In my opinion and the way that I've seen it, I'd say they do work pretty well together. I just hosted a networking event last week, and I'd say it was very well attended between the four towns. it was kind of great to see everybody wanting to promote one another. Atlanta has the New Earth Festival coming up, and everybody was interested in hearing more about that festival. And, you know, people in Sheridan were supporting one another with their Main Street and their First Fridays. And it's really heartwarming to see these communities come together.
You know, we went to Atlanta the first time ever. I don't know why we did this, but we were driving and we saw this festival going on, and we stopped and discovered the walking taco. Have you had the walking taco?
I have not. I'm sure I'm in for a treat though.
Yeah, so like for like 2 or 3 years after that, we drove up for walking tacos, which is a very simple meal, but we'd never heard of it. So they're known for walking tacos.
That's awesome.
Doing before you took over as the executive director of the Northern Hamilton County Chamber of Commerce?
So before that, I ran for Westfield Clerk Treasurer, and then before that, I worked with Architect Systems out of Muncie, Indiana, and it's a software company. But I didn't do anything with the software. I was the operations coordinator for community growth, and what that meant was the owner of Architect Systems is an entrepreneur / philanthropist. And instead of giving money to charities, he chose to buy vacant buildings through his downtown area, and he would put businesses in them. So Architect Systems was one of them, but it was a 3-story Sears building. So he took the employees, moved them upstairs. Downstairs, he turned into a digital golf restaurant bar concept.
Cool.
It was really cool. He did not, he didn't go through a franchise. He built it from his own vision up. So it was very unique.
Yeah.
That was fun. So big part of my role was to, I did a lot of project management type work to help them get through the processes of building that. And then once that was up and running, then my job was to basically sell it. So I would bring in different events, networking events. I think now it's really cool that they're hosting their young professionals networking events there with the chamber in Muncie.
Nice.
Yes.
So, I mean, so you followed along a little bit to see what they're doing and stuff, just to keep track?
I do. Yeah, they're good friends, good people.
So how does that position turn into a clerk treasurer, desire to be a clerk treasurer?
You know, part of it was I'm very involved with my community, and I felt like there was a need. I have an accounting background, and I felt like, why not use that to help my community? But you know, things work out for a reason. It turns out that maybe that wasn't my role. I can still use my accounting degree in different ways to help and assist different communities that I live in. And I talk a lot, I network a lot. So I guess maybe this works out a little better.
Yeah. I don't see, and I know I don't understand, but I don't see you as just like a bookkeeper, accountant in an office, you know, with the keypad typing in numbers. So you're very outgoing. I think I'd lose my mind in that job, but so we're glad you're the executive director of the Northern Hamilton County Chamber of Commerce. So I think it's a better fit. You're good at it. So, all right. So,
well, thank you. Thanks.
When took over, why did suddenly this happen? Where did it come from? Because there's been a chamber in the past. It's been very inactive, I understand. But why now? What happened?
Well, this is where Onezone comes in. Northern Hamilton County Chamber, I'd say it started off as a small chamber, and then Sheridan joined on the chamber. And then the way I understand it is it's just got to be too much for what was going on. And then Onezone, I know Jack Russell has been working with them for about 5 years, saying, hey, come on with us. And finally, love Jack, he was able to talk them into hey, we've got all these resources. We have a great thing going on with Onezone. Like we can really, really, really benefit Northern Hamilton County. And honestly, that's where I came in, and I'm exclusively for Northern Hamilton County. So I think Jack's done a great job at keeping his promise of keeping Northern Hamilton County's identity.
Yeah.
But it does bring in so many additional resources. I mean, we have a marketing team that's amazing. We have an event planning team. We've got our investor relations team. I mean, and we have lobbyists. We've got so many resources through Onezone that Northern Hamilton County has not had an opportunity to have an access to in the past.
So if you're a member of the Northern Hamilton County Chamber of Commerce, you are also a member of Onezone?
Correct. Yes.
Correct? And if you're a member of Onezone, do you get to use Northern Hamilton County Chamber of Commerce benefits?
Yes. So if you're honestly, it's Onezone is Northern Hamilton County Chamber with Onezone. So we're all one. And so if there is an event in Northern Hamilton County, like I have David Highway, the local historian, giving a presentation on September 28th in Northern Hamilton County Library. If any Onezone member wanted to attend that presentation, they can use their benefits. Same with Northern Hamilton County. If they were interested in any of the sales series where it's an education opportunity, they can use their benefits to attend those sales seminars.
So, and I think I'm a big fan of Onezone. I actually feel like the medium chamber is dying. You're either big like Onezone with all these resources, or you stay small like Northern Hamilton County Chamber of Commerce. And then, so I like this blend because you don't have a choice. If you go to the medium level, I think you become kind of ineffective. You just become top heavy. And so for you to be a small chamber, but have all the resources of the large one, I think that's like the ultimate benefit or the ultimate chamber right now. So I think that's cool. What kind of things, just specifically, if you're a small business in Northern Hamilton County, can you benefit from being a member?
Well, if you are a woman-owned, minority-owned, or veteran-owned business, Onezone has a education opportunity where you start off with an empty binder, and by the end of the program, you'll have a full binder of all the paperwork that you need to file to become a women-owned, veteran-owned, or minority-owned business. And then you're on the state's register, and you get many perks from just that alone.
That's really cool. What a neat idea.
It is cool.
Do people use that? Have people utilized it?
It is a new program. It is a new program where we'll launch that soon. And so I'm kind of excited. I know Jack's very excited about that as well.
Can it be existing businesses already that want additional resources, or is this for just startups?
I believe this is for existing businesses as well. As long as you're not previously registered, you're able to.
Neat. That'll be neat to follow. And I mean, I don't qualify for any of that, but that's pretty cool. I think the more resources, the better. What has been some surprises that you've had, or some interesting results of you poking around in these communities now? Because I know you didn't do that before. And so you're dropping into Atlanta, the Cicero, you're dropping into things. What has been interesting about it, or where have you seen some important stuff going on?
One of the neat things that I've seen is I'm walking through especially the main streets. There's so many windows with coverings on them that I'm excited just to see what businesses are coming into those, because that these towns are growing, and when you see that excites me to see just the energy that's coming into these towns up here.
So you're saying there's renovations going on behind windows, like the curtains, and you don't know what they are yet, so there'll be a great reveal?
Yes.
That's cool.
I really wish I have been in my role just a little bit longer, so I've had the ability to contact the folks that are planning on entering these buildings, but I'm really excited to find out what they are.
Are there more businesses in these communities than you knew I mean, are you surprised by how many small businesses there are?
Not only just small businesses, I'm surprised at how many large businesses there are as well. There are a few major businesses like Beck's here in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that kind of amazed me just to realize that multi-million agriculture business
Mm-hmm.
here. United Animals, another big one across from Greek's Pizza there in Sheridan.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two that I can think of off the top of my head that are just really big businesses
Mm-hmm.
that most of Hamilton County don't know that are here.
Mm-hmm. And they're important for the communities. I did not know how big United was, but the fact that they several hundred employees locally, I mean, that's the obviously the number one employer in Sheridan. And I think the same goes for Bex, but I think Bex is probably a little is bigger, but um, yeah, so it's an important business to have. Do you think those companies benefit from being in these small towns?
Oh, absolutely. That they benefit in so many ways. They've got employees that have a sense of pride in their town, so they're going to be here for a long time.
Hmm.
Um, they're able to reduce the taxes because of these multi-million dollar businesses that are there. I mean, they're able to
Hmm.
provide a lot to their communities.
Yeah. Do you think the communities leverage these big businesses, the one or two big businesses in their community? Think they've done a good job of it?
I think so. They're really good. Like Bex, for instance, will feed their employees. I know that
Mhm.
they've got a cafeteria in the bottom because they know that there's food deserts in these parts of
Yeah.
Hamilton County. Like there aren't a lot of restaurants, there aren't a lot of grocery stores, and so for them to bring their employees in, whether they live in Hamilton County or not. I feel like some may come from Kokomo, some may come from Tipton. They'll get
Hmm.
them from other places, but yeah, for them to be able to provide 3 meals a day, like again with Bax, they have the cafeteria. If
Yeah,
you have no reason to leave, they make sure they take care of them. They're like family.
that's a big deal. Yeah. I would imagine
Hmm.
in these towns they have lower turnover also because there's not a lot of job options. I doubt the employer takes advantage of that, but um, what is all right? So as you go around, you're doing what kind of things are you doing in the community? So, Sheridan, Atlanta, Cicero. What's the other one? What's
Arcadia.
the Arcadia? Um, what kind of things are you doing in those communities? So give me some examples of um, Northern Hamilton County Chamber of Commerce involvement.
So again, I'm still trying to catch my bearings here, being rather new into the role and being new to Northern Hamilton County. But right now, what I'm trying to do is go to these different communities, these different businesses, and I'm trying to not only introducing myself, but I'm asking and listening to hear what these businesses and communities need from the
Hmm.
chamber. Um, Basically, I'm almost building the chamber from the ground up and trying
Hmm.
to mold it to what do the businesses and communities need today? Because a lot of the data that I have is from 5, 10 years ago, and Hamilton County is changing, and
Hmm.
it's just been amazing. Sorry, I got a little distracted there.
What or what do the businesses need today? What do you feel like after you kind of dove in? I know you're still a few weeks into this, but what are some initial things that you see that's how you can help these businesses?
A lot of it is communication, believe it or not. So you've got your main street businesses, and they want to be able to communicate to the businesses that are off the main street. And that's been a lot of what I've been seeing in all 4 towns, where they want to be able to have that connection
Hmm.
between all of the entire community. Because oftentimes you can get stuck in your main street and just get stuck, just knowing your neighbors and not
Yeah.
exploring past that. But if you have an initiative and you need the rest of the community, they're coming to the chamber and asking if I can advocate for them.
Hmm.
For instance, like with Main Street, we just did a strategic planning meeting with them, and it almost they went from being just Main Street to thinking community as a whole, which I thought was
Hmm.
great because in the end, what that does is it brings in all of the community's ideas so that you're going to have less complaining in a way, because you didn't build it one way or this way. You built it the way that everybody needs it to function as a community as a whole, especially as a business.
How much control do you have over what you're going to do in these communities? Is this you're driving it, you're creating the programs and stuff like that, or is there a overall plan put in place for you to implement it?
I'd say, sorry, you're cutting out a little bit there,
There we
but
go.
I for the most part have a say in how I want to do this, but I do have like a set of standards. Like, it has to hit our mission, our vision, and you know, it has to benefit the community. It has to hit certain checkbox. And then what I do is I'll take my ideas, I will go to Onezone, and we'll make sure that we're able to make it work if it meets the criteria, and then kind of go from there. So it's not necessarily just me, which is probably a good thing, because I can come up with some pretty wild ideas sometimes, and I might need somebody to hold me back just a little bit. But I think it's a really good partnership.
Well, and I think it would be hard for Onezone to create the plan for all these little unique communities, and for you to be on the ground, you can be a lot more flexible and report back and stuff like that. So that's what I think a lot of these communities are hoping, is that it's tailored for them and their specific needs, because the generalizations don't work, I guess, in 4 communities. So
Absolutely. Yep.
so one of the things that you had, so I hosted a meeting at the Greek's Pizza that you promoted or put together, and that was awesome. And one thing I noticed is that there's a lot of people doing business that aren't connected and don't know what's going on. And you had just said communication is a big deal. How is it that you're going to get to them if they aren't already going? And how can they step up and become engaged or stay in tune to what you have going on? I mean, how can how can you help with that?
A lot of it is being active, whether it's them or me or all of us. A lot of it is attending those council meetings. That's where you're going to find out, you know, first thing, what's going on in your community. Be involved in the Main Street meetings. I'm doing my best to attend as many of those as I can. I have 4 towns, so it's not always easy to get to all of them. Plus 2 kids are in travel soccer, so I do my best. But I think it's very important. Like, those are key. That's how you stay on top of what's going on. You want to be there so that you can be ahead of what is coming.
Where is that at? Where's that? Let's say they go to the council meetings. Outside of the council meetings, do you have a networking event in each community? Do you have, I mean, what is that?
Right now, I have a event called Morning Brew. That's the last Tuesday of every month. Right now, it is held at Greek's Pizza, 9 a.m. Our next one is September 26th. And as these get going, I would like to add more. I'd like to kind of rotate, because I know sometimes it's hard to get from Sheridan. Believe it or not, to go from Sheridan to Atlanta, it's about 20 minutes. So I would like to eventually bring some over either to Cicero or Arcadia.
So your morning brew is going to be your main networking event, and you're going to try to jump that around. But everyone in those 4 communities is welcome to that, no matter where it's held, correct?
Absolutely, yes. And it's mostly just Northern Hamilton County businesses, town officials. I had a couple of clerk treasurers, the last one. It's been great. Yeah. Library.
I would like to, if you know, it would be nice if someone in Atlanta or Arcadia or Cicero is probably easy, but that would volunteer to host them, because I don't think, I mean, I wouldn't go to Arcadia unless it's for the walking taco. I wouldn't typically watch for a networking event, right? And so for it to be somewhere cool and they promote it and then you guys promote it. I think that's a neat way to get us out and see some other communities for sure.
Absolutely. And there's just some really neat businesses. Arcadia has a coffee shop called Remnant,
Okay.
and you would never know it's a church on Sundays, but it has you would just never know. Like there's nothing there that tells you that it's a church.
Really?
It's very wide open space. There's a fireplace with a couple of couches if you wanted to relax. There's
Hmm.
quiet workspace. There's conference rooms, outdoor space, kids play space upstairs. I mean, it is a work from home dream come true.
Uh-huh.
I will bring my kids there on days that we don't have school.
Uh-huh.
That's in Arcadia.
Are there
And
people there
more
during the day working? I mean, is it busy?
honestly, like I see a good amount of traffic come through
Uh-huh.
there. It is a lot of work from home folks.
Hmm.
You have internet that works great while you're there, so it's guaranteed.
Uh-huh.
Um, I've seen some meetings come in place. I've just seen some people just gather there for their daily brunch with their friend. I mean,
Uh-huh.
it's a great meeting space.
Cool. All right. So what about Cicero? What's a cool place in Cicero that is fun to meet at?
My office.
No, it's not. You don't need chairs.
No, actually, I'm on the second floor of a building, but the main floor of my building is Dark Side Coffee House. And that's a really neat space.
Hmm.
It's got honestly, it is really hard to work here because I have to walk past the kitchen and I smell the baked goods every day.
Uh-huh. That would be hard.
That is a really great space. Across from me is Nolan James. It's a little boutique. If you're into shopping, that's really neat. There's a
Okay.
flower shop across.
Hmm.
That is a really cute flower shop and like lots of little home goods you can buy there. It's just a lot of things that just amaze me. Like you wouldn't
Hmm.
believe that we're here in our
Yeah.
small town.
I'm really surprised at the number of small businesses that work from home that don't really, I'm out there. I blast everything. Me, right? And there's all these little small businesses, especially women-owned businesses that just kind of quietly trudge along and do their thing. And I hope that maybe your program will draw them out because I think that's kind of the core of networking and getting to know a community. Do you see the same thing?
I think so. Absolutely. That networking is key. That is how you learn more of what's going on and what's available. I
Hmm.
would like to see a lot of these businesses become women owned or minority owned or
Hmm.
veteran owned, registered. I mean, I've had people contact me and just say, I want a list of all of your women owned businesses because I want to support them. And it's pretty neat to just have random people call you and ask you for that. And
Hmm.
right now in Northern Hamilton County, I don't have that specific list. And I would like to grow that list so that I can give them to other members that call or other
Yeah.
sometimes it's not even members. Sometimes it's people from out of state that are coming in to
Hmm.
visit and just want to know those details.
Well, that'll be good to track some of that. Where do you see this? Where do you see the Northern Hamilton County Chamber of Commerce in a year and 5 years? Where do you see this growing?
In a year, I hope to have more programming. In a few months, like once I'm a little more established and once people are a little more aware that the chamber it's growing again. I would like to do a strategic planning so that I can hear more from the businesses and more from the town officials. Like what does what can the chamber do and what do you need the chamber to do for you?
Hmm.
I think that's my main goal within a year. And then from 5 years, I would like to build off of that. So I want to make sure that I'm building programming that's going to be useful and purposeful in the community. I
Hmm.
can come in and just say, I'm going to have this one class once a month, but then, if it's not providing any benefit for the community, then what's the point for any of us?
Yeah. So, okay, so you want to get members. Let's talk about membership. I know there's all different levels, but what's the cheapest? Because you do run a business, you have to make money on it at some point. What's the cheapest way for someone to be involved in Northern Hamilton County Chamber of Commerce?
So right now we have an exclusive for Northern Hamilton County membership rate, and it's $150. That essentially is the basic plan. So
Mm-hmm.
the marketing alone that you would get from that
Mm-hmm.
is well worth it.
Yeah.
We have with Onezone and Northern Hamilton County combined, we have over 1,300 members. And our website gets over 30,000 views in 1 month. And
Oh,
just
wow.
that alone, worth it. Yeah.
So someone can join for $150 a year, and they get access basically to Onezone, and they get access to you and the local networking, correct?
Correct. Yes.
And then what's other things that other ways they can participate?
Well, there's lots of events going on. So
I mean,
one month.
I'm sorry, membership levels. What are,
Oh,
how
I
do
don't
they,
have it.
that's all right. So they can pay more and get other benefits, right? Like advertising and stuff like that.
Yes, so you can pay more. So I think the next level up, if you have more than one business,
Mm-hmm.
then you go to the next tier, and that will get your name on the directory for all of those businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say, well, for instance, you, Kurt, have 3 businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So you would be able to just pay one fee, have your 3 businesses on that directory, all listed separately.
That's cool.
And yes, and what is nice about that is you've got 3 very different businesses, and the fact that they're categorized in their different filters makes a difference.
Yeah, because I find that a lot of times when you join a chamber that you're plugged in under one category, just you are what they put you in under, and it's not really where you want to be. It's almost like there's too many categories, but so that'll be nice to be able to split that up and have everything as one, though. Are there going to be ways for people to advertise and sponsor events down the road, or is that something they need to jump in on Onezone Caramel Fishers for?
No, they can if they have any, like, how do I want to say it? Like, Atlanta has a festival coming up, and what I could do is if they were to send me some information, then I can put it in a press release, and that can go into the news under the chamber. I can put it in a newsletter that I'm starting to build. That I can put all that information in there. The Facebook page, we can put some information on there. And I apologize, that page has not been very active, but there's just a lot that's going on right now, kind of building those relationships. I'm kind of doing one step at a time.
Yeah, right.
But we'll get there.
Well, this is cool. This is really exciting to me. I know that you have a lot on your plate. I'm interviewing Jack Russell, I think in a couple of weeks, to do a podcast with him. But I love the focus of the Northern Hamilton County Chamber, and I think it's cool what you're doing. So I hope that people engage and sign up and participate. How can people right now find out, follow, and stay up to date what's going on?
Well, if they wanted to stay up to date, what's going on? Number one, you can always come visit me. There's always that. I'm chatty, so I enjoy that. Our website, it's merged and married in with the Onezone page. But if you were to go on the Onezone page and click Northern Hamilton County, it'll have all of our information there. Okay. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're pretty active on those. Well, not pretty active. We're getting more active on the social medias.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for doing this, and I look forward to lots of years of fun networking and seeing things grow. So thanks a lot, and good luck on your new venture.
All right. Thanks, Kurt.
All right.